Hey, what's going on, Chad? My name is Byron. I spoke to you just a few moments ago about sending this video over. I saw that you were running a Google ad. You were doing a few things correct. You were also doing a few things wrong. And I help companies throughout the United States. I help these companies improve their online presence. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to reach out to you. I wanted to give you some tips and tricks, some advice, if you will, on some things you can do to improve your company's online presence. As you know, having an online presence in 2023 is very important for a business. In fact, it's very critical. We're in a digital age now. What I mean by digital age is that most businesses are promoting and advertising themselves on the internet now. So with that being said, let me show you a few different ways that you can take advantage of this moment in time and improve your company's online presence. So when your future customers are looking for turfing services within the greater Houston area, chances are they're going to come into Google and they're going to use specific key phrases or keywords in order to find this service. So in your case, they're going to use artificial turf installation. They're going to hit search. And the first thing that most people typically see when the page opens up is something called the Google Ads section. And believe it or not, a lot of businesses, and I mean a lot of businesses, are coming into Google now and they're paying to have these ads put up here. In fact, you're one of the companies, right? And the beauty of this section that you will know is that the only time you're ever charged is when someone clicks on this link right here, which is also called an headline. If no one clicks on this link or headline, then you won't be charged for running ads. Right below the ads section is what's called the Google Maps section. Right below the Google Maps section, it's what's called the organic or SEO section. This is what this section is called. And these are the three main ways that most businesses are bringing in customers now. And the whole goal is to have you within one of these top two ad spots up here. Once again, the whole goal is to have you within one of these top two ad spots up here, which you already are, but there's a few different things that you're doing incorrectly. And when you do certain things incorrectly, as it pertains to running ads, this ad won't show up most of the time. And I will touch more on that in the future. But for right now, like I said, the whole goal is to have you within one of these top two couple of ad spots up here. And we can make this whole process happen by providing you with a really good landing page that will convert traffic into phone calls, form submissions, or a combination of the two. There's a few different tools that we typically like to use in order to make this whole process happen, in order to get you into one of these top two ad spots. And the first tool I want to talk to you about is called Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner is where we go to see how much volume a certain keyword is generating per month. Another cool thing about Google Keyword Planner is that it allows us to see some of the other specific key phrases and some of the other particular keywords that people tend to use in Google when they're trying to find a turfing service. So these right here are some of the other like specific services or specific keywords that people tend to use. As you can see, turf installation, grass installations, fake grass installation, artificial turf installation, and so on. Backyard putting greens. So, like I said, these are some of the other specific key phrases and keywords that people tend to use in Google when they're trying to find a turfing service. But for right now, I want to focus in on this particular key phrase, which is artificial turf installation. So, artificial turf installation in the greater Houston area. I say greater Houston area because I'm also targeting the surrounding cities outside of Houston, such as Spring, Katy, Sugar Land, Pearland, Pasadena, and so on. So artificial turf installation in the greater Houston area is being searched between 100 to 1,000 times by people per month, which means between 100 to 1,000 people are going into Google and they're using this particular key phrase in order to find turfing services or turfing companies. And the cost per click is about $5.27. What this cost per click typically means is that whenever someone goes into Google and they use this particular key phrase, then if they come across an ad and they click on that ad, the company who's running that ad will be charged exactly $5.27 each time it's clicked on. An example would be, I kind of already like giving you an example. So an example would be, I've already used this particular key phrase, right? And I hit search and I come across an ad, which, for example, I can click on your ad right now. So if I were to click on your ad right now, then you will be charged exactly $5.27 each time I click on your ad. Keep in mind that a decent conversion rate for paid ads is about 10%. Once again, keep in mind that a decent conversion rate for paid ads is about 10%. What that means is that about 10% of the people that click on your ad are actually giving you a phone call or they're filling out forms on your landing page. So if you're running an ad right now for artificial turf installation in Houston and you had a 10% conversion rate, you'll be paying about $52.70 just to land an artificial turf installation job, which is like pretty lucrative, right? Because as you would know, an artificial turf installation job is a couple thousands of dollars, right? And just paying $52.70 for a lead is really lucrative, right? Another tool that I particularly like to use is called SpyFu. And what SpyFu does is it allows us to spy on our competition, but it also allows us to see how our ad is performing, right? So the only thing you have to do is put your URL in, hit search, and what that does is it brings up your stats. So these are the stats of your ad campaign. You're paying for 10 keywords per month. You're only generating 18 clicks per month on your ad, so only 18 people, or your ad is being clicked on 18 times per month. And your ad budget is $50.60, which is pretty low. This number should be way higher in my opinion, because the higher it is, chances are you're going to be generating more clicks. And when you generate more clicks, you're going to be bringing in even more revenue. Another cool thing about this tool is that it allows us to see some of the other turfing companies in the area who's also running ads. So these are some of your competitors within the Houston area who's also running ads for turfing services. And the final and best thing about this tool is that it allows us to see your ad history. So these are some of the ads that you've run over the course of time, and I can already see certain things if you've done incorrectly, like this in particular, right? Your ad shouldn't pop up underneath this keyword right here. This is bad. Chances are when your ads show up under like certain keywords such as best artificial grass for pets, your ad's not going to be like running successfully. You're going to be wasting money. You're going to be burning money essentially. And I'm going to show you why now. Google has the quality score, right? And that quality score is broken down into 3 metrics, and this quality score will make or break your ad campaign. The first metric I want to talk to you about is called ad relevance. And what ad relevance typically means is, does this particular key phrase match what's in your headline? This is called a headline. If these two things doesn't match, then Google will deduct points from you. And when it deducts points from your ad won't show up most of the time. Your ad might show up at the bottom of page 1, or it might show up on page 2. And if your ad shows up on page 2, chances are no one's going to click on it. And when no one clicks on your ad, you're not going to be generating any revenue. So you want to make sure that these two things match. Whatever someone searches in this Google search engine should match what's in your headline. It's a matching game. The second thing that Google tends to grade its ad campaigns by is called click-through rate, right? And what click-through rate typically means is how often is someone clicking on your ad versus your competition. And in order to have a good click-through rate, you must have several things go right in your favor. And in order to have a good click-through rate, you must have something called silent extensions. These right here are called silent extensions. And you want to use silent extensions to describe as much information about your company as possible. So you want to describe the type of services that you do. So if you do putting greens, if you do synthetic synthetic grass installations, if you were to do sod installations or whatever the case may be, you want to use silent extensions to describe your services that you provide for customers. You also want to use silent extensions to describe your locations of work. So what cities do you serve in? Do you serve in the Katy area, the Sugar Land area, the Pasadena area, the Pearland area, and so on? You want to use silent extensions to describe your locations of work. You also want to use silent extensions to describe if you have multiple phone numbers, right? So if you have multiple offices within the greater Houston area, you want to use your phone numbers to describe where customers can contact you, and you can use silent extensions to do that as well. You also want to use silent extensions to basically just give the customers as much information as possible about your company and how your day-to-day operations typically work. The last and final thing that will make or break your ad campaign, and it's probably the most important thing of this quality score metric, and it's called your landing page. This right here is an example of a landing page that we typically use for clients. It's not the actual landing page, but it's a landing page that we typically use as it pertains to running ads. And the reason why we use this particular landing page is because, number one, it's high quality. And number two, it has generated us some decent amount of revenue, right? And the reason why we've been able to generate a decent amount of revenue is because we have several things on this landing page that works well in our favor. The first thing I want to talk to you about is called calls of action. What I mean by calls of action is, you see this phone number right here. You see this free estimate form or free quote form that potential customers can fill out right here. You see also a phone number right here, and you see another form right here that potential customers can fill out. We've given the customers about 4 calls of action. What I mean by calls of action is we've given the customers 4 different ways that they can contact us. And Google likes for this to happen because the more calls of action you have on your landing page, chances are the customer is going to be, they're going to be calling their number or they're going to be filling out forms. And when they're calling your number or they're filling out forms, they're going to be inquiring about your service. And when they're inquiring about your service, chances are you're going to be generating revenue. And when you're generating revenue, Google's also going to be generating revenue because you're running an ad campaign on their platform. So Google likes for companies to have multiple calls of actions on their landing page because you're giving the customers multiple ways to contact you. And when you're giving the customers multiple ways to contact you, they're going to contact you, believe it or not. The second thing that Google likes for landing pages to have is something called keyword phrases or organic keywords, right? And keyword phrases or organic keywords or words such as turf side, lawn care specialist. These are all examples of organic keywords. And organic keywords or organic key phrases are just basically words that potential customers might use when they're trying to find a turfing service or a turfing company. So you want to make sure that you have these particular key phrases or keywords on your landing page because chances are it's going to be a particular keyword, a key phrase that someone goes into Google and search for in order to look for a turfing company or a turfing service. The last and final thing that the Google likes for landing pages to have is something called mobile responsiveness. What mobile responsiveness typically means is that does your landing page work on mobile devices? Does it work on mobile devices such as iPhones, Androids, iPads, Kindles, and so on? If it does, chances are your ad will show up most of the time. If it doesn't, your ad will be deducted points and it won't show up most of the time. You also want to make sure that your landing page is loading up pretty fast on these mobile devices. And the reason why you want to make sure that your landing page is loading up pretty fast on mobile devices is because if it doesn't, no one's going to sit there all day and wait for your landing page to load up once they click on your ad. They're just going to exit your ad and they're going to click on another ad and click on their landing page, and they're going to be filling out forms on their landing page, and they're going to be filling out other quote forms on your opponent's landing page, and they're also going to be calling your opponent's phone number. So you want to make sure that this landing page is opening up and loading up pretty fast on mobile devices. Now that I pretty much explained how a successful ad campaign works, if this is something that you're interested in, feel free to give me a call at 832-388-7490. My name is Byron. Once again, I talked to you about how to identify ad relevance. I talked to you about how to identify a good click-through rate, and I also talked to you about how to set up a successful landing page when it comes to running ads, and how your landing page should have multiple calls of action, how your landing page should have organic keywords or key phrases, and how your landing page should be mobile responsive. Once again, my name is Byron. I would love to sit down and have a chat with you. My number is 832-388-7490. Have a blessed day.